teams that probably only have 1 or 2 picks left, or 3 picks left. But the Dolphins are going to clean house. Like, the Dolphins could literally just go, best available, best available, best available, best available, and they're already a better team. And if Jordan Brooks goes in the first round to Seattle, I want to see where Malik Harrison goes and the Appalachian State linebacker. Because Davis, we never saw him run as 40.
Davis Gaither?
Yeah, Davis Gaither. We never saw him run as 40, but he actually is pretty good. Good in coverage. And now Arizona, shit, they kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone because Simmons can be an edge rusher and a linebacker.
That's why for
Chandler Jones and Simmons.
That's why for
scary.
a team like the Raiders, it's like to not have a second round pick. I mean, it sucks not having a second round pick because there's so much depth that's still there. There's so many high quality players that are still there that you can get. But honestly, at the same time, they've also been flaming in the fucking second round for a minute. So, like, Mullen is their best second round pick in what, like a decade?
If you want to count Carr.
Okay. So those 2 in a decade? That's it?
I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy that that's true at all.
Like, and the second round is like, I don't know. To me, it's the second round is the money round. The second and third round are the money rounds because the first round you're taking a player with a lot of expectations, and it just depends on where they are in life and where you are in terms of a franchise and scheme and how you can develop them. Because usually anybody going in the first round all has really good traits and really good athleticism.
Except AJ Jenkins.
At least in theory.
Except AJ Jenkins.
Yeah, so at least in theory, there's that. Now, the second and third round is where you got guys... Potential, the boom and the bust. People who had injury concerns, who had character concerns.
Or they just dipped.
Or just dipped. Or
Dobbins should have been a first-round pick.
Or had a good year and then had a bad year. Or had a bad year and then a good year. But there's something there, but it just takes your own front office's, balls and brass and wisdom to find, okay, this is what we can turn this dude into. This is what we see him as. And if you when you lose that second round pick, it's like, I don't know, it's like losing that ace. I feel like it's like,
it feels like most of the best players in the draft will be gone by the time the third round.
It's just like playing blackjack without any aces. It's like
it's playing blackjack and you don't have an ace or a 10 and you're trying to bluff somebody with a face card.
Something like that, yeah. Something like that,
your chances are slim to none.
Something like that.
If you have a 2 face up, I know you got to keep hitting, and eventually you're going to get too close to that number, and eventually I can stay put. I can have a king up top and a 1, and I only got 11, but I'm bluffing you into fucking pulling 3 cards. So.
All right, so final words in the first round of the draft and what to look forward to the rest of the weekend.
I give the Raiders a worst grade. It's not even close. They get the worst grade. The Packers just pretty much told Aaron Rodgers, we really don't fuck with you like that. You kind of worn out your welcome.
If Ruggs is as good as they say he is, he better be dusting all the Raiders corners because none of them are running 4.3s.
No, the issue is simply...
I'm just saying, in general...
Can he dust other teams' corners?
In general... Fine.
People be like, the Raiders corners are great in practice.
No, fine.
And then the game shows up.
Fine. Those are fair questions. But I'm just saying, from day one, I want to hear about how Ruggs is just dusting people.
I don't want to hear a foot injury. I don't want to hear about, he has a foot injury.
And 7-on-7, he needs to be destroying people. Like,
that first step
running circles around. Because none of their safeties are running 4.3s either. So,
yeah, and he's agile, too. He's not just fast. He's agile.
I know, yeah. He's not just John Ross.
Yeah. So my thing is like, I hope he's not the number one receiver, but I hope he forces everybody else to get better because he's so fast. Or like somebody else has to be open. Like Hunter Renfrey can put up great numbers, but that's fine. but he should be putting up great numbers because back to those Clemson days, you got 3 other dudes who are garnering all the attention, and they're not going to put they're not going to put a safety on Renfro. They might put a linebacker on you because they know he's not that fast.
Well, the issue is since Carr's lost Michael Crabtree, like he hasn't had that guy he can force the ball into on 3rd and
Darren
4.
Waller.
Exactly. Waller. He's had Waller and he's had
Monroe.
Cook. But they've had concentration issues as well as, well, they're flex tight ends that get fucking triple team. So you can only expect so much of them for 4 quarters.
He's 6'6" and runs a 4.49. So
but I'm just saying, in general, he gets triple teamed.
Yeah.
So that's what I was looking for the Raiders to get in the first round, was getting a receiver who can make that contested catch that these other guys are like Zay Jones and Tyrell Williams are dropping. Now, Ruggs doesn't have the same drop concerns as like an Amari Cooper.
But you know
so we have to keep that consistent in the pros. Like, I don't want to hear about drop concerns now.
He has the
pros.
yips. How?
Exactly.
Cut Zay Jones. No, I'm just kidding. But that's why I'm saying you just load up weapons around him. If you can get Antonio Gibson, you get him. But like, look, dude, we drafted 2 receivers.
You
and
picked the dude
back.
off of speed and acceleration, so I just want to hear all about that all season long.
No, versatility. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like
and he's not just fast.
I know I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like you got somebody because their one skill set was better than everyone else in that one skill set. So I just want to hear about how dominant that one skill set is. At the very least.
Also, I want to hear about how smart of a route runner he is.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to expect him to be something that he's not. I just want him to be really great at what he is right away. Instantly.
Yeah. Remember when the Raiders had Khalil Mack and then they tried to put him in the coverage when they didn't need
Which
to?
he was actually good at, but...
Yeah, but then
he's a great player.
But then they said, our defense was still bad. Well, yeah, because you only had one Khalil
But
Mack.
yeah, so as you're saying, wrapping up the first round, and what are you looking forward to the rest of the weekend?
Just running back and pretty much receiver, where guys are going to go. Because, to be perfectly honest with you, there's going to be some teams like if the Chiefs pick up another receiver in the second round, oh my God. Or another running back just to fuck with people, or they get a linebacker. Like, I'm looking to see how the great teams get better.
For me, finding out in the first round is honestly like man cave flexing is fucking weird. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wait, what did you just say?
Man cave flexing is weird. Like,
how is it? You're supposed to flex your man cave.
To people like that are your homies that you want to invite into your man cave and have over for the fights and shit like that.
Have a trash man cave?
Not across. I'm getting to that, but I'm just saying like it's not something that you want to like broadcast and like, hey, check out my man cave. Especially when you're 45 years old and you guys are all millionaires, so you guys all have cool man caves. Like,
nah, you'd be surprised. Some people.
No, I know there were some people that don't, but I'm just saying in general, like in theory, you should all have.
Yeah.
The resources to have a nice man cave. Point is, when I look at Roger Goodell's, it's like I wasn't surprised at his man cave and all the I don't know if that was wood paneling or just like a built-in like sort of wall unit. But either way, like it was definitely some like 70s, 80s, white boy.
Got a dartboard in there.
Shit. Ivy League shit.
He had a dartboard in there, didn't he?
I didn't see the dartboard, but I'm sure it's in there.
It was off camera.
And
probably of a naked woman's body in the picture. That's how I used to do it back in the day.
But yeah, man, he just low-key looked like a serial killer in there, but yeah.
What did you expect? He wasn't going to wear a onesie.
I don't know.
He wasn't going to wear
it's just weird.
My kid's third favorite commissioner shirt.
That should be hilarious.
They really should have just had me
just
do a treatment for him. Like, bro, and I'll fix your image real quick for PR.
And the second and third round, I'm really just looking at the offensive line. There's still a lot of teams that need tackles. The Houston tackle, Josh Jones, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He's still on the board. The tackle from Auburn, Cleveland, who we talked about. The Niang from TCU. So there's still some guys you can get in the second and third round who can push for starting time if you're the Rams or the Chargers.
Curtis Weaver's edge rusher. The Rams need edge rushers.
People have been talking about this interior lineman class, how it's pretty solid. So I want to see what
Nevin Gallimore,
when those guys start coming off the board. The dude from Louisiana, Damian Lewis, Cushenberry.
Shout out to JUCO product. Shout out to Brandon Ayuk because he is a JUCO product. I'll give him that.
And
but, hey, he went to Niners.
So I want to see when those interior linemen start coming off the board because really the Raiders need one. The Chargers could use some. The Rams need some. So I'll be looking at that. And then lastly, and you brought up the JUCO point, which is something that I noticed. But the other thing that I noticed, besides the JUCO, besides the trauma, the other thing that I noticed that I'm seeing more and more as I'm covering the draft every single year. I'm seeing more and more players who got a late start, who didn't start playing football until high school or until, their junior year. And so it just raises a lot of questions about why we even really need youth football. Pop Warner and stuff like that. And I think
I'm going to need you to not say that again. And Snoop Dogg has a whole league, and I'm not fighting Crips for you.
And I think on top of that, like with all this coronavirus stuff, and as we talked about last week with Herm Edwards, it's like
it's not safe enough for the fans.
This isn't a social distancing sport. So I just feel like the war on youth football is going to continue. And it's probably only going to get worse.
And youth sports in general.
Maybe youth sports in general, but I think
they're already talking about getting rid of volleyball.
More so football than anything else. But yeah, volleyball is really bad for your knees.
They're talking about getting rid of it.
Basketball, they've even talked about how players are coming into college banged up, like with tore up knees that look like they're like 25, 30 years old. So just overall, like, kids are getting worn down in youth sports, and
that's why specialization is important, or not specialization,
versatility,
playing different sports, and
that's exactly what I was seeing from a lot of different players, especially in the middle rounds. There's a lot of players who play different sports and transitioned, or there's a lot of players who came from different countries and started playing late. So just interesting to see the kind of progression of football, both at all levels, really. But
true.
Now it's finally reaching the NFL.
I only got one thing for you this week because, well, nothing else really happened. So we're just going to play this real quick. What the fuck is going on?
Well, this is a flame.
How is that possible? Wow. Screw it. I guess the computer froze. Whatever.
No, I don't think the computer froze. I don't know why it's not playing.
It's just literally not playing. Anyway, take your tangent, man. So Gronk came out of retirement and somehow super finessed or flexed a trade to the Buccaneers. And now he's on that team. And actually, no, I'll save the second part of that for the second thing I was going to say. But what's your take or tangent on Gronk pretty much getting out of New England?
Remember that whole expose ESPN the magazine did like 2 years ago when they were like, oh, the death of the Patriots is upon us. Like Belichick and Brady can't agree, and et cetera, et cetera. And now we fast forward a few years, and it's true. And I think overall, Gronk's return kind of reiterates the fact that something happened within that organization to where a well-oiled machine stopped running the same, and even if the results were the same, and even if they were able to overcome that by winning a Super Bowl, I don't think the intangible was ever the same. And so I think Gronk returning to play with Brady in a new organization kind of shows how You see the sides is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like you see
I think
the sides.
cracks